Go. All right. Welcome to the Dragon's Tome. Dragon Magazine 168. Episode 168. We are now in 1992?
April 91.
April Fool's. I thought it was April 92.
Yeah, I don't think Jack mentioned the last episode what day it was. But...
No, but here we are again. April. How do I always get stuck with April?
Yeah, it just seems coincidental.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like it. But
April issues are always the best. We know this.
It is.
Well, there's three of us. We each do one. So mathematically,
there's 12 months a year.
12 months a year.
We start in June.
By 3.
We start in January.
Oh.
Mathematically, it should be you.
Nah.
Jack.
It's always in the same cycle. We always get the same days, same months.
Yeah. Well, either or. Here we are. Dragon Magazine. Dragon on the front.
No, it's not a dragon.
Oh.
As the top says, as the worm turns.
As the worm turns. So, whatever it is, and I know it's worm. These birds scared the bejesus out of this warrior and his dragger.
They're turns, not just birds. They're turns. As the worm turns.
Like, the guy got scared so much he dropped his...
Flamberge.
Is it Flamberge or is
I think so. A Zweihander?
What do they call it? What's the Scottish one have again?
It's not a claymore.
Not anymore.
No, it's got that little extra bit. It's either.
Yeah, I think the claymore have a little extra bit too, though.
No, they're a straight blade. They don't have that little.
Is it a Zweihander?
That's
I gotta look it up now.
It might be a Zweihander. I think a Flamberge has a curve, like a wiggle to it.
No, you're right. All right, so
either way, there's
a one, right?
No, it's Michael Weaver.
Oh, Michael Weaver. I'm sorry.
Dream Weaver.
Michael Weaver.
So this wyvern wants to land on this rock,
it's a worm,
and it looks very precarious. Like this thing can come tumbling down at any moment wherever he puts his weight.
And why was he doing it in the first place? There's nothing up there.
Maybe they wanted to rest, or
he was just landing, and then the birds were like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, and then the guy's like, "Oh God, birds!" and dropped his Flamberge.
Yeah.
There's
watch
a lot
it.
of story going on here.
It's true.
You look in the background. Maybe this is in the middle of the ocean. This is the only spot he can rest in.
It's true, or the wetlands. It looks like wetlands.
Nobody wants to land in wetlands. As I was saying, I watch a YouTube channel of ghost hunters, and this girl from Australia, she's afraid of birds. So this reminded me of this. Who's afraid of birds?
Oh, people with that fear, whatever it's called.
Is she exceedingly hot?
Not exceedingly hot, no.
Oh, because generally, exceedingly hot people are allowed to get away with that kind of horseshit.
Being afraid of birds?
Yeah. Anyone who's not, usually life pushes that, grinds that out of you real quick.
Oh God, here we go.
Jack was afraid of birds, but they made him like him.
Let's work with Jack's fear and move on to the first article. Jack, what do you got?
I have page 73 of the PDF.
73. This is one of mine.
We're going deep diving.
This is one of mine.
Stephen Shend, you sir are the Sisyphean act that you're trying to do here. The I don't know, the Don Quixote attempt to write down the updates that have happened in comic books over an amount of time. Excuse me, over amount of time in order to kind of get your game kind of squared away. So there's updates on living, or characters that have died, characters that have been reincarnated in some way, shape, or form, team swap outs, and a whole bunch of other stuff that if you took it upon yourself to try and do this would be a full-time job, and you would need at least a staff of 10.
I think Marvel probably employs somebody to keep track. Well, they probably should. I don't know if they do, but I think they probably do employ somebody to take track of this stuff.
So if you were playing
Marvel
this game,
used to have editors. There used to be a thing called an editor. They don't believe in them anymore, but
Oh,
burn.
ouch. um, a scathing indictment of the current day comic book industry.
Mhm.
Let's
Which,
just reinvent everything every time. Anyways,
maybe it's time for it to go.
how dare
I'm seeing what's coming out now with the farting Harley Quinns, and maybe it's time to just put it all.
that's a fetish, Jack. Don't yuck someone's yum.
The old yeller of the whole industry might be necessary. But anyways, so if you want to know whose powers changed in different stats and who's doing what and whatnot, this was an attempt to kind of keep everyone abreast of the situation.
I would like to say that it's a funny reading it because it's a real slim snapshot in time of the Marvel world, especially the X-Men, because I know the most about the X-Men. And this is literally right after Extinction Agenda. X-Force just started, Extinction Agenda just happened, but X-Men #1 hasn't happened yet. So he's just like, oh yeah, all the teams are kind of up in the air. There's nothing much happening. It's like literally like next month, probably during this month is the
Was
X-Men.
91 when X-Force started? The original X-Force?
I think it's during 90, but yeah. And 91 is when X-Men #1 comes out, the biggest selling comic book in history, and it makes the blue and gold teams that eventually become X-Men '97, the classic television show. This is all where it begins at this point right here.
What was, and I can't remember, and I'm almost positive it was an X-Force. What was the original X-Men reboot or re-team up called?
Giant Size X-Men?
Was it X Factor? Was there
X Factor was the original team came back. Because Giant Size X-Men brought the original team left in the X-Men that we all love and know, like Wolverine and Storm and Colossus and those guys came in.
Mm-hmm.
And then X Factor was the original team coming back.
And that
already happened. That's already
X Factor was the one I liked.
And New Mutants has also just ended, and that became X-Force. And that's what he kind of is saying. This just happened. Anyways, the point is, it was a funny snapshot because it's literally none of this matters. Like it changes within seconds.
Again, it's got Alpha Flight in here, and I can tell exactly where it is. It's after John Byrne had already left to do, I think it was Fantastic Four. So Bill Mantlo took over, and quite frankly, if I want nothing but the most horrible things to ever happen to that man.
Ouch.
So what he did, and this
he knows what he did.
He knows what he did. Puck,
yes,
deserved so much better. And Windshear, you can stick Windshear right up your keister. But anyways, I don't know exactly who's writing for it now, but they brought Puck back, put him back to the way he was, like sort of retconning all the nonsense that he was filled with a genie and all this nonsense. No, he was a guy with a disability who had a big heart. He was supposed to be
he's just a guy who bounces around a lot. He's made of vulcanized rubber. The other thing I found funny is this. He goes through all the dead heroes and villains, and he tells the possibility of them coming back. And every single one that he says had nil chance of coming back, no chance at all, they're all back. So it was another one where I was just like, come on, stop saying these definite things.
Yeah.
Funny article. I found it
unless you're saying, Uncle. It's Peter Parker's uncle may return. No, he's not coming back.
Uncle Ben. It used to be Uncle Ben and Bucky, but Bucky came back. Spoilers.
All right. Well, should I go since you and Rob had that article?
Sure.
I shall go. Let's go to 12.
I shall go.
You're in charge. You make the rules.
Well, I was just kind of throwing it out there for a round table.
Oh, this is my other article. Thanks.
Oh, great. How about we go to page 17?
No, that's all right. You can do this one. I got another one.
All right. How to RPG in one lesson. This is basically, since this is April Fool's, this is the tongue-in-cheek article basically mocking every aspect on how to role play, I thought. And I especially like the part here where it says humans and backgrounds. It says basically if you're a human, increase everything you have if you're a human.
Just because, why would you ever play a human otherwise? Because you just play humans.
Yeah, and he also pokes at DMs saying that they're allowed to get your PC, which probably was true in the very beginnings, but by the time second edition rolls around, it's not so much that way anymore. But the part about this that kills me is the name Gemini at the bottom of page 14.
That was what I was going to talk about, yep.
the D6 name generator.
It's a perfect, yeah, it's a perfect name generator. You roll a D6, 1 to 2, it's a vowel, 3 to 5 is a consonant, and number 6 ends. Hopefully you don't roll a 6 right off the bat, because your name would be nothing. But, yeah. So, and then everyone is assigned 1 to 6 is the vowels, and then 1 to 20 is the consonants, and you could just make any name you want. Awesome.
Yeah.
As
far as April Fool's articles go, this was probably one of the better ones.
I started reading it, I was like, oh, this is stupid. But then by the time I got to the end, I was like, that was pretty funny. There's a whole thing about alignment and
Yeah.
How if you're a good character, you just have to try to figure out ways to do things you want to do, but to make it seem like you're agreeing with your alignment. If you're neutral, you have to pretend that you're trying to balance everything, but you're just trying to get what you want, just to explain why you're balancing it. And if you're evil, you just do what you want. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
A lot of like, hey, you got to role play. So when the 40 storm giants come to attack you, you have to role play for that 0.7 seconds that before you get squished.
Yeah.
Role play is important.
And that's saying how all these characters should. If you're a cleric, you have to like pretend that you actually want to heal people and stuff. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, well.
It was by Tom Schlosser.
Yes, R.A.P. Tom Schlosser. And then Adland Adventures.
Is that a person? I assume that was just his title.
Well, maybe. All right. Well, rest in peace that, or R.I.P. that company.
To one or both of you.
Do you have a ton of articles, Rob?
No, I have one other one. No, I have two other ones. We haven't even done my editorial yet.
All right, let's do your editorial then.
We're going to the editorial. This thing is annoying as hell. It's on page 8. It's a test, and you go through this whole test, and the joke at the end is that, we forgot to put the answers. And I was like, really? This is stupid. You annoyed the hell out of me. And that's all I want to say about it.
April Fools.
Thank you, April. Fuck you. But they're trying to show how editors have to know all this stuff, is pretty much what he's trying to say, but I don't know. That was my article.
All right, Jack. What did you
take the test, though?
I did not take the test.
I didn't.
Oh.
Did you?
It was pedantry and tomfoolery. It was I tried, but
yeah, they're trying to be funny. What page, Jack?
What page, Jack?
Oh,
where are we going?
Page 81.
It's in my other article? No.
This is one of mine.
Treasures more real. Where did all the monsters' gold come from, anyways?
Look at this colored picture.
It is, it was a kind of a nice picture. The dragon kind of hiding behind the door, and the two of them coming in like, hey, it's competently composed, but also has a little bit of whimsy. So the elevator pitch is, hey, when you find a treasure hoard, it's gotta be fun for the first few hundred you find, but eventually you got to make them kind of, the diversity of it should make sense.
Yeah. So it's not going to have millions of coins all the time.
So yes, and what would you do with 50,000 gold pieces if you're encumbrance? Like you couldn't carry it all. And where did it come from? Why is it there? Those are the kind of questions that they're asking, and when it so what this is some very basic tables that tell you what's in the treasure, and they kind of, for each of the table, it's kind of like a little something different that you don't get usually. So it gives you what the item might be. It gives you the condition of the item. So like you could go, oh well, this is a nice sword, but it needs to be repaired. Then it gives some weapons that you don't generally find. So instead of always finding, it's sword plus one, you could find a guisarme, a glaive guisarme. So then it gives like sundry items, that are still treasure that you might need. And the end result is a treasure hoard that that looks unique and makes more sense to it. And again, the delving of dungeons before about this time was, oh, there's a monster here. Well, what does he eat? How is there every room have these different it doesn't matter. You kill the monster, you get the treasure. This is starting in with okay, you don't have to suspend disbelief. This is more of an immersive thing. This is now taking the time to make things seem lived in.
Yeah, if you want a little more variety for your treasure troves. Seems like a lot of work for just a treasure trove, but I guess if you want to make it exciting when you find it, if you're kind of the group that likes sorting through it all, and personally it's like, okay, just give me the stats. I don't want to know that there's 22 bucklers and
it's 8 charts that you would just like percentile, and you could. You wouldn't need to make every hoard solely by this system, but if you're like, I got to add a couple, like 2 things to make this stand out. Yeah,
it's fun.
So that is my article.
All right. Well, let's see. Well, go ahead, Rob. What do you got?
My last article is going to be on page. Where are we? You did that one. Did that one? Page 40. It's halfway through the role-playing reviews by Ken Rolston, but it's at the bottom of the page here. It's Arkham Horror board game, famous Arkham Horror board game, big game.
Yeah, we played. My friend who had this game, we played the crap out of it.
Well, it's still around today in many different versions, and there's an Arkham.
I have the Fantasy-Phile version, which I like a lot.
That's the classic. Well, that's the most famous one, but this is the Chaosium original one. And it's only $25, but he raves about it, how it passes the wife test, where it's finally a game that she'll actually play with him because it's a board game and it's fun.
It's a good game. It's not that much different than the Fantasy-Phile one so much.
Well, it's just you're going around Arkham trying to shut gates is pretty much what Arkham Horror is about.
And what I remember about it is that the cards were kind of Monopoly cardboard and size, like chance cards. So.
The thing with Arkham Horror is later there's so many supplements to it and add-ons that eventually, if you played with them all, the game would take about a year to play. But
it's almost impossible. I can tell you because we've tried.
Oh yeah,
and I've got them all.
We played them with I think 4 or 5, and it was way too much. But
I put all the board expansions on and all the cards expansions in, and we.
Did you finish the game?
No, it was almost impossible to control. Like things were out of control left and right, and it was we gave up pretty quickly within like the first hour.
You're like, this doesn't work.
there is no way 8 people can control all these boards and all these expansions.
Yeah, so he raves about it, and it's this is the beginning of board games as we know it today, where it's like this is the early days where it's in Europe. Obviously, they had board games like Euro games at the time, but in North America, this kind of game, this is one of the first. So it's fun times for board games coming around and being fun to play.
Arkham is a good classic for sure.
I don't remember if I've ever played it.
We did play it, Jack. We played it at your house, and we didn't get very far.
Which one did you guys play though?
I keep thinking
because the Chaosium one was a small box.
It was definitely the Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy, Fantasy Flight version, and it's a huge box.
Because there's the On Horror Hill or whatever it's called.
Betrayal on House of Hill, that's a different game.
Yeah, and I've played that a few times, but I don't remember Arkham Horror.
It took up your whole table, and we played, and we never finished because it was very long.
Oh.
And I think your nephew came to pick up your sister or something, and he was sitting there and just gave up and left. It was one of those nights. You were probably drunk.
Could be.
And it was I remember us not getting very far because it's a tough game. But fun. It's the beginning of these kind of fun games. That is my last article.
All right, well, then we will go to my last article, and we will go to page 17. In conjunction with the April Fools, we will go to Murdy's Magical Merch. This is a list of ridiculous magic items.
They're all Murdy's magic items.
All Murdy's by Murdy's, and they're all ridiculous. The ones that made me laugh the hardest were the multi-planar mushrooms. You take the multi-planar mushroom and you can go to the
You go on a trip.
you go on the ethereal plane.
That was my favorite too, because you took one mushroom to go, you took one mushroom to come back, but they were sold in packs of 3s. So some quick math would determine that
You might
and they
get
all
stuck.
came through package in their Paisley Tech
Yeah, Paisley Tech.
trade register trademark. The other one too was the masculine macho musk is the one that made me laugh too. The rugged manly scent to turn any weakling adventure into an hulking monstrosity with 1800 strength.
And you have a friend spell cast on you.
Yeah. So I mean, all these are just ridiculous and funny. You can choose to use them if you want. Some of them are pretty funny. I do like the money plan. I would actually, if I was running a D&D campaign, so I would probably use the multi-planar mushrooms.
Just have them. They're like, you gotta take these to go. You have to get into the plane.
Yeah, because I just think it's funny. Because just like Jack said, you package them in 3s, and if you forget to buy a second package, you're screwed.
Well, just don't. You can come back. Just don't take them again.
Yeah. So, I will say though, as far as the April Fools, this was one of the better ones because some of them were pretty bad.
Robin C. Ashmore and Michelle Batter.
Yes, R.I.P. both of them.
It's getting the 90s. They're probably not dead.
Probably obviously canonically they've long passed.
Yeah,
please tell us you're alive. I don't want these guys to dwell in death.
We've yet to have someone who isn't. Not a single one.
We have had some ghosts contact us though.
Yeah.
No, Anywho, this probably because Pat had said this is probably one of the better April Fool's magazine editions. I'd say it's probably my second favorite of all of them.
I don't think I rank them, but I just know that this one didn't
make
hurt me as much as the other ones.
It didn't make your eyes roll and you hate yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to start with the ads.
What if Jack has another article?
Well, we all know he doesn't. I mean,
are you shaking your head because you're mad that he didn't ask, or are you shaking your head that you don't?
Well, here's my plan. We all know Jack very well, and if I don't ask him if he has a third article, he'll have one, and then we can continue.
Because I'm a trickster.
Yes,
I'm a bit of a Loki figure. I'm a bit of a Harlequin myself.
So let's go to ads then. Jack, are you ready for my ad?
Okay, can we go to page 3, please? To the only ad worth, if anyone has any more than one ad, I don't know. There's no
justice. This is my ad too.
That's just being.
This wasn't one of my ads.
This is one of my 3 ads.
This is being 3 ads.
Yes,
that's indulgent. That is indulgent and shameful.
So go ahead and start it.
Okay, jumpstart your campaign. It is a. It's for the new D&D game.
Yes. We've discussed this before.
Yes, this is the infamous black box revision of D&D.
Jack?
I guess it's done. Yeah, it's my ad though, so I kind of wanted to talk about it.
Go ahead.
This is the infamous black box for D&D. If you scroll down, it looks like a combination, say, a gateway drug of board game into role playing rather than the hard jump into role playing, where you could coax, much like the game we were talking about earlier, Arkham Horror, where you could bring it and your wife would say, "Oh, it's a board game. Let's take a look." So
that's
you see
sexist.
some standees. What's that?
That's sexist. Your partner, Jack, not your wife. Your partner.
Well, it was. I'm referring to an anecdote that someone else said in a different article. I can't misquote them.
Yeah.
I was respecting the writer of the reviews. So we've got like a basic board. We have some standees. We have the dice. We have some papers and a book. and it is going to take the original D&D into a different direction. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I never played this. I never saw it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What I do know is that this was designed to make learning the game easier for some people. It was based on some kind of learning system.
We talked about this in Game Wizards like a few months ago.
Yes, but this is our first time seeing it.
Yeah.
I know,
All
but
we've
you guys are
seen
talking
before
like
was-
it's some magic thing that we never knew about. We know about this.
Yeah.
Am I going crazy here?
You're going crazy because we're actually explaining the box now that we can see the stuff.
We
The one
never
thing you
knew
can't
what was
see
in the
is
box.
Is the 48 card learning
Yeah,
pack.
it's that learning pack is the big system here. That it's like
Yeah, with
flashcards
the-
for D&D.
Yeah, where the front of the card shows the rule and the back describes a brief example
situation,
of how the
yeah.
rule works. Yeah. So
But Jim Ward
I forgot
and
about
Bruce
the
Hurd.
box, and now I want to add it to my shelf.
You want this?
I just want to include it in the shelf because technically
But you probably
This
find
would
these pretty
be-
cheap.
this would be the fifth edition of D&D.
Is there an edition after?
Well,
this?
because there's the original
No.
box set, right? And
After
then
this,
there's-
AD&D and D&D become one again after in third
Yeah,
edition.
so like if you're going to have the start of D&D as a collection, you would be remiss to have not the final version.
Final
I'm not
version
a
of
collector.
basic
the
D&D.
Beckme
Yes.
book is being written at the same time, or was released at the same time.
Yeah, that's the
So,
that's
but
the
as far
real
as,
version.
As far as the original D&D box set is concerned, there's the original box set. There's the Moldvay dice,
Holmes
the
edition,
Holmes. There's one more, and I always forget the guy's
and the
name.
colors.
And then this would be the fifth edition of D&D. This is the first fifth edition of D&D. Not this Hasbro stuff.
I see what
so-
you're trying to say. I see what you're trying to say, but I think you're insane. So
Yeah.
this wasn't a new edition. This was just a real basic version of it. That's all.
Which the promotional material that Rob has shrieked that we've
Jim
discussed
Warden here says it's the best edition yet, so it's a new edition.
said
Liar.
it's not a new game. It's not a new game. It's not a new game, and now we're seeing that it kind of is. So
they lied to us? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I'm
Bastards.
saying that it is worthy of putting an edition number on it because that is not the D&D.
It's not the D&D I know.
Yeah,
Not the D&D I know. It don't have no Mulvey dice or Holmes dice. So I wish I knew what the other dice was. Box set.
Andrew.
Oh, no.
Andrew Dice Clay,
Yeah. So, all right.
brand new
Jack,
edition.
anything else to add to your...
Actual
No,
article.
slim pickings for ads. So you're lucky you got one out of me. I would say, unless I wanted to really just be obnoxious.
I'm amazed you didn't do one of these. That's all I'm saying. I thought for sure I was going to take one of Jack's here.
Okay.
This was
All
the
right,
one you
well-
thought was the big thing in this magazine?
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn you people.
For me, we were told one thing in the promotional material, and then you look and you see something entirely different. It's not a bait and switch.
And the last one, it said, it's coming. And here it is.
So
It isn't
yeah,
completely different, but it is more expanded than I think they implied.
It's the
That
Frank
we were-
Mincer edition is the other edition of
Well, there you
D&D
go.
I was thinking of.
Who cares about D&D? D&D's dead. This is the end. We're seeing the death knells of actual D&D. We're going to.
I love D&D still, and I would play a D&D adventure just because I love it.
I don't want to play a dwarf or a
we
fighter.
just played last year a D&D adventure. So like
That was AD&D.
That was AD&D, yeah.
Was it?
D&D, yeah.
Yeah.
D&D doesn't have clerics. D&D doesn't have paladins. D&D has fighters, elves, dwarves, magic user, and thief. Does it have thieves? I don't think that has thieves.
I don't think, but I think it has clerics.
I don't even think it has
I
clerics.
can't remember. It's been a while since I even looked through a basic D&D.
it's
not
got
much choice.
clerics. I would say
yeah, maybe.
Rob is a liar
could have
with his
clerics.
pants fully engulfed.
There's 3
Yeah.
classes and I think 3 races that are classes. I think that's all it is in D&D. It's not much. Talisman has more options. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Rob. Why don't you tell us what article?
You're not
is
going
the
to take an
best
article before me? You sure?
No. Because you seem to be hot and bothered about the fact that...
I have a lot of articles. I don't want to steal yours. I have a lot
He's
of
on
ads here.
fire this week.
All right, I will go then. 41.
That is one of mine. This is the one I was implying last week, I think.
All I did was rebates and exclamation points. I go, oh, we're not in the needing all the money's time.
That's
right
what I was
now,
curious. Like, only reason you start rebating a product is it's not selling well, right? Is that my thing? That seems odd to me. That's what I was thinking of this one.
Which is funny because the biggest rebate is the compendiums, the first
Well,
volume.
because they're the most expensive. They're like double the price of everything else. That's why they have a double the rebate.
And the Dragonlance is the number $4 too.
Yeah, I think they're the two biggest ones. I think Dragonlance was an actual book too, wasn't it? I think it might have been in binder too. Anyways, yeah. Why are they rebating the Monsters Compendiums already? That's my question.
Yeah.
Jack, do you have an idea?
Me too.
To me, it's just a sale with extra steps. Like,
it seems desperate to me. That's what I'm saying. If you have a strong product, you don't rebate it, unless you have a shit ton in your warehouse that you're like, you got to get these out of here, because they weren't expensive.
You know
to begin
what
with.
they should have rebated was when the manuals, the hardbound books started falling apart.
Yeah,
They should have said, hey, if you've got one,
send us in your detached cover, and we'll give you a $2 rebate off another one.
yeah, or something like that. A basically brand new. Some of these are maybe 4 months old.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's relatively new. That's why I was confused.
It does seem weird. Whereas I would have just had a thing that said, "Hey, go to your local game store. We've got $2 off. Pick it up. It's brand new. You're gonna want it."
The best thing is you have to mail this in, and they send you a check.
Yeah.
Well, as a modern day Homo sapien, looking at what you would need to do, you get the sales receipt, mail that in. It just sounds like, no, for $2.
For $2, not worth the effort.
I'll be damned for $2. I'm going to be making two.
Even in 1991 money, I'm not sending all this work for $2. Yeah, weird.
I'm not your bookkeeper. I'm not your accountant. I don't save the receipts. I'm not going to be.
Yeah. What? Or could it be some way that they want the receipts to see where it's being bought or something? Like, do you think there's some other reason to do this?
I can't think of any other reason other than
they have too many.
It's too many, and they're not selling them all.
Because, you'd think they would have enough. They would know which local game stores were selling what.
I mean, it's still very early in the second edition release to be handing out rebates.
Yeah, like we're only in the second year of second edition. Like, this is weird.
But maybe, Rob, maybe data collection is the point. Maybe they want to see how many Walden books.
Yeah, that's what I was curious where they're buying these things. Yeah,
maybe
as opposed to say a Games a Lot
store. Yeah. Games a Lot.
I mean, it is April,
Classic.
and the offer only goes to May 31st. So it's not a lot. So
yeah, it's a month. You get a month to do it, but it's just weird. It just seemed odd to me. But I'm trying to think of another reason to do it.
With me, because it was a big page ad too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And we've never seen anything like this from TSR before. They've never offered discounts maybe on Dragon Magazine, but not on their actual products. Like, this is weird. Strange.
All right. Well, Rob, before we move on to your things, there was Clerics and No Thieves in the team.
Yeah. Okay.
It was 3 classes and 4 races.
Oh, 4 races. I thought there was only 3 races.
Yeah, human, dwarf, elf, and halfling.
Was there halflings in D&D? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they call them hobbits in the
Hobbits,
set.
Yeah, right.
But I think with the Holmes is the next edition, they get changed to halfling.
Yeah, because they got sued. J.R. Tolkien's business going to sue somebody.
Sue somebody.
All right, what page are we going to? Where are we going?
I got lots. Let's go to page. This is the one. I'm going to go to page 57 because I'm amazed Jack didn't do this one. There's a literal naked lady in this magazine. It's a Wizardry Bane of the Cosmic Forge. It's some kind of 1-800 number, and it's being sold by a naked green lady. And I was like,
I think it's a game based on the Wizardry game line, because it does say you can get it for MS DOS, Amiga, and Macintosh.
Yeah. It's definitely Wizardry is a video game, so I don't know why there's an 800 number, but I was just like, I think we brought up before with scantily clad ladies in this magazine. They seem to stay away from real people being naked in this, but this girl is pretty damn naked. But yeah.
That's because she's the Bane of the Cosmic Forge.
I thought it was just odd that they allowed this in a family-friendly magazine. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right.
Everything's covered up. It's not. It didn't
Barely.
shock me when I scrolled through here. I at no point did I have to like.
Clutch your pearls.
I'm sure there's some Puritan puke who was on the phone talking to a senator about this, but to me it didn't even.
You're desensitized to porn. That's why.
All right. Well,
it's a company that paid a model to model something eye catching, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's it really. I've seen other ads that were far more distracting.
in
And
Playboy,
didn't require
it's Dragon magazine, so
didn't require I don't know, barbarian.
Penthouse in '91. It was probably Penthouse. Playboy was on decline then. So, Jack, do you have another ad?
More on Pat's porn podcast. You can check out
Pat's porn podcast. The alliteration writes itself.
Triple P.
I thought that was it was going to be the something tome.
Branding, Pat's porn podcast, and then it would be put our peas in your ear.
No.
Peeing in your ears.
Jack, another ad?
In your ears. Jack, please have another ad.
No, I did mine.
All right. So then let's go to page 80.
This is another one of mine. This is the big one that I thought for sure you guys were saying there's a big ad in this one.
Yeah,
it's freaking vampire, people. This changes the world.
Coming out. Played the shit out of this game too.
This literally changes the role-playing world, and it's being advertised for the first time.
Yeah, it goes, and then LARPs really start to really take off, and
storytelling RPGs. This is the beginning, man. This is big.
All I remember is Vampire came out. We played the shit out of it, and then just LARP showed up at every freaking convention that we went to.
We were at UbiCon at probably this year, and the Vampire was just come. It was probably maybe next year because Vampire had just come out, and the guy was there signing the copies. And I think one of our friends got a signed copy of Vampire, which is probably worth a shit ton of money now if he kept it. I doubt he has it, but it's pretty crazy.
We also went, and they just released the werewolf version, and I think it was myself and my friend Rich. It was at UbiCon, and we just wandered into it, and we just sat down. It was a question and answer session or whatever. It was interesting, but.
Yes, it's Werewolf the Apocalypse is the next one.
Okay.
This is Vampire before it's called Vampire the Masquerade. This is called Vampire.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And I don't know what Devium Games is, but I think the White Wolf branding is the right choice for them to going forward to sort of lean into that.
Yeah, White Wolf is the company that eventually, whatever this Asvedium announces, that's...
Well, at the bottom it says available soon from White Wolf, so it's still White Wolf, but
because
maybe Asvendium is one of the main.
No, Asvendium Games is the company, and White Wolf is like the sub company. But like Jack says, they're like, no, it's called White Wolf. Don't worry.
Yeah,
but yes,
for branding purposes.
Terrible ad because it's just a black. I don't know. It's supposed to be blood. It just looks.
It was probably green.
It isn't because this is a color ad. This is a color magazine. This came out exactly how it is.
Maybe they just made it black and white. All right.
I think it's red.
Isn't the cover just?
Eventually, it is just green. It is a green cover on there.
Yeah.
It's like an emerald. All the different covers had different colors.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. What do you got for? Just roll through your articles now because I'm all done.
You're all done? Okay. We're gonna go page 31. It's little at the bottom here. It's Cyberpunk 2020. Night City and Chromebook is coming out. It's the big additions to Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2020 is the next version of Cyberpunk. So this is we're moving into the real Cyberpunk, not just the original one, which is good. What else we got? Oh, page 69. This is weird, because we just talked about how the Gulf War just started, and at the very bottom here, Gulf Crisis. A whole new experience in role playing. It's these people jumped right on it to have a I think it's Play by Mail about the Gulf Crisis, like literally as it's happening. I think that's a little insensitive and a little weird, but I thought that was strange.
There was a lot of talk before the attack happened, so
yes, but that's just weird that the people do this. That'd be like having Wow, I don't want to get into real life politics. Let's go to page
Yeah,
114. Rob edited himself, people. That's the first. 114 is
he'll drop a heroin reference. Doesn't even blink twice. But the current day tragedies of genocide.
Yeah,
we found his.
Let's step back here. This is the new Marvel Superheroes, the revised edition. It's the one I don't like. I like the original yellow box. This one's the cheaper to find box, and it's the new one coming out. And lastly, on the very next page, it's Vikings. I don't know if it's the first green book. I think there are other green books out already, but this is one of the first historicals that is coming out in the Splat books for AD&D, and it's Vikings. I don't know if we
had this one.
I don't know if we had any green books yet. This might be the first green book.
I never had the Viking one.
I didn't have any of the historical ones. There's Celts, there's Vikings, there's I think Greece. I think there's a Greece one.
To me, it was always, you're building this fantasy world, and then every time someone went, well, what if we changed the money to denarii? And it's like, well, why ancient Rome coinage needs to be in the?
Don't be omniscient here, because that's coming.
Why do you have to? Like, I don't need make a like Viking-esque barbarian if you want, but we don't need like all the
to literally play in Viking, because these are DM books. These are settings. These aren't just character classes.
They're source books, right? So I mean, I get it. If you wanted that in your setting, that's fine too. But I'm like Jack. I don't need to have real world types in my fantasy.
I don't even like it when they bring in like there's some other, like you're saying, like Greek specific Greek soldier types and stuff like that. It's like, no, it's a fantasy setting. It should be all unique.
If you want to make a fighter that
looks like a hoplite, but it shouldn't be a hoplite.
Yeah. He's got a spear and he's got a backup gladius. I mean, just a short sword, and he's okay.
Even weapon types, yeah. But I guess you can't get around some of it. It is taken from everything, but
sure.
But I don't. Yeah, if I wanted to play a Vikings game, I'd play Harn.
Yes. All right. Is that all your ads?
Yeah, I'm done. That was it. I quick.
Well, let's wrap up episode 168. Like, share, subscribe. If you're alive, please let us know if we called you dead.
We do like a proof of life. It's nice.
Yeah, we do love proof of life. It's always fun to hear. So
and it's a joke. We apologize. It is just a joke. If you take offense to it, we don't really think you're dead. Well, Jack does, but he thinks everyone's dead. He thinks himself is dead.
I wish.
All right.
On that happy note.
On that happy note, let's wrap up Dragon's Tome.
April Fools!
For this episode, I've been your host, Chopper.
I'm Jack.
And I've been Rob, the happy one.
We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.